What if your God does not exist?
My dear friend, what are you talking about?
Your God. My gods. What if they don't exist?
Well, if God or the gods don't exist, then nothing has meaning.
Or everything has meaning.
What on earth does that mean?
What do you need? Your God.
Well, if there were no gods, then anyone could do anything and nothing would matter. You could do as you liked and nothing would be real and nothing would have meaning or value. So even if the gods don't exist, it's still necessary to have them.
If they don't exist, then they don't exist. We have to live with it.
Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if everything we've been taught about God, heaven, and hell is nothing more than a carefully crafted story? A story created to keep humanity in check, to control our actions, and to instill a sense of morality through fear. Think about it for a second. We're just tiny, insignificant specks in the vastness of the universe. Why would a God, if one exists, care about us? Let's dive into this idea and explore what it truly means if these concepts are all man-made. To begin, let's ask a simple question. Where did the idea of God come from? Think back to ancient times. Humans lived in fear of the unknown: lightning, earthquakes, disease phenomena they couldn't explain. The gods were born out of this fear. They gave people a way to understand their world, a sense of control in an uncontrollable environment. But beyond understanding, gods served another purpose: social order. Imagine a world without rules, without consequences. People might steal, hurt, or kill without hesitation. By introducing the idea of a higher power, an all-seeing entity that rewards good and punishes evil, society found a way to keep people in line. Heaven became the ultimate reward, hell the ultimate punishment, and God the judge. This wasn't just a coincidence. Many early societies used religion as a tool of governance. Leaders claimed divine authority, making their rules unquestionable. Over time, this concept evolved into organized religions, each with its own version of heaven, hell, and karma. The goal? To make morality universal, even if it was rooted in fear. Now let's talk about karma, the idea that every action has a consequence. Good deeds led to good outcomes. Bad deeds led to suffering. But what if karma is just another invention? Think about it. Humans needed a way to make people think twice before doing something wrong. For example, why don't most people steal or cheat? Sure, some fear the law, but many fear something greater: cosmic justice. They fear that their bad actions will eventually come back to haunt them, even if no one else sees them. It's a powerful idea. But is it real? Or is it just another way to scare people into doing the right thing? Here's the twist. If karma isn't real, then what stops us from doing wrong? Could it be that humans invented this fear as a self-regulating mechanism? After all, it's much easier to control people with the promise of rewards and punishments than with force alone. Let's zoom out for a moment. Way out. The universe is unimaginably vast, with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. In the grand scheme of things, humanity is less than a grain of sand on an infinite beach. So why would a divine being care about us? This question challenges the very foundation of religion. Many faiths teach that humans are the center of creation, that we're special, chosen and loved by a higher power. But when you look at the universe objectively, it's hard to believe this narrative. If there is a God, wouldn't they have more important things to worry about than whether we lie, steal, or cheat? Or perhaps God is a concept we created to make ourselves feel significant in an otherwise indifferent universe. This realization can be unsettling. If we're not special, if there's no higher purpose, then what's the point of it all? But maybe, just maybe, that's the beauty of it. Maybe life's meaning isn't handed to us by a divine being, it's something we create for ourselves. Now, let's get to the big question. What if heaven and hell don't exist? Imagine a world where there's no reward waiting for you after death, no punishment for your sins. Would people still act morally, or would society descend into chaos? Some might argue that morality depends on religion, but the truth is, humans are capable of empathy and kindness without the promise of heaven or the fear of hell. Think about it. Even atheists, who don't believe in God or an afterlife, often live moral lives. Why? Because morality isn't about divine rules. It's about understanding that our actions affect others. It's about choosing to be good because it makes the world a better place, not because we're afraid of punishment. If we remove the concepts of heaven and hell, we're left with one undeniable truth. We're responsible for our own actions. There is no higher power to blame or thank, just us. So, if there's no God, no heaven, no hell, and no karma, does life have any meaning? This question has puzzled philosophers for centuries. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre and absurdists like Albert Camus argued that life has no inherent meaning, but that doesn't mean it's meaningless. Instead, they believe that we create our own purpose, whether it's through love, art, knowledge, or simply enjoying the little things in life. Meaning is something we define for ourselves. This idea is liberating. It means we're free to live authentically, without the constraints of divine expectations. Yes, the universe may be indifferent, and yes, we may be insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't make our experiences any less real, or our lives any less valuable. At the end of the day, the question isn't whether God exists or whether heaven and hell are real. The question is, what do you believe, and how does that belief shape your life? If these concepts help you find purpose, that's okay. If you choose to reject them and create your own meaning, that's okay too. What matters is how you choose to live, how you treat others, and how you make the most of your brief time in this vast, mysterious universe. So, what do you think? Is God real? Or is it all a man-made construct? Does it even matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.